Hi, my name's Ilana. I'm the founder of INC Capital, where we advise our clients on citizenship and residency by investment solutions globally. So, did you know that Italy has a fantastic investor visa? I spent quite a few weeks in Italy last year. I live in Portugal, so it's easy for me to travel around and visit all these countries where we offer programs. And the Italian investor visa has become significantly more interesting to investors over the last few years. So, let me explain to you how it works, and maybe you will understand why it's become such a good solution for so many of our clients. In the first place, the investor visa has 4 different ways in which you can become resident. You can either invest 2 million euros in government bonds, Italian government bonds. You can donate 1 million euros to a foundation or a project that is of cultural importance to Italy and her people. Or you can make an investment, which is either a €500,000 investment into a share portfolio or 250,000 euros into a product that is specifically an innovative startup company as its base. So we've structured a few of these for you, and we'll talk a little bit more in a separate video on that. I think one of the things that's made Italy, other than the obvious touristic reasons why people love Italy, but why is it suddenly getting so much traction? Why are people so interested in it? It's very unique in terms of residency programs because it allows you to make your application and get your approval, get your first visa stamped in your passport before you actually have to make the investment. So if you're thinking about making a 250 or 500,000 euro investment, that is a lot of money. And a lot of our clients are a lot more comfortable in the idea of getting the approval first and then visiting Italy and making the qualifying investment. So keep that in mind as one of the things that's a unique differentiator for the program. So let's talk a little bit just about how the program works in general. So typically, we would start a file with an investor where we would gather all the initial documentation. We would go through which projects that they're interested in making an investment. We would then apply for what is called a Nulla Osta in Italy. And once we have that Nulla Osta, we can then put the application pack together for the client. And then you go to your local consulate and you make your application in your home country at the nearest Italian consulate or embassy. That visa then gets stamped in your passport, typically within a week to 10 days. And once you have that visa, you can then visit Italy and start the process. We invite you to visit, come for biometrics, you make your investment, and then we take you through the whole process after that. So who can be included in this is typically the next question. So it works for very particular clients. Just kind of experience has shown us that there's particular family constructions that it works better for. So if you don't have any intention of physically relocating, but you're wanting to just make this investment for future use or to future-proof the family or to use it as a plan B, keep in mind how we can structure it to combine your family members. So you can include your children in the visa up to the age of 18, which means they have to be younger than 18 when we complete the initial process and you visit for your first biometrics. If your kids are older than 18, the only way we can include them in your application is if they have disabilities and they are financially dependent on you. Then there's no age restrictions. You can also include your parents and your in-laws if you want to do that. Not everybody does. But if you want to include your parents, they have to be demonstrably financially dependent on you. So not more or less. If you're asking the question if they're financially dependent on you, then they probably are not. So your parents have to be financially dependent on you, and it's much easier to go through the process if they are older than 65. So let's have a little conversation about that if you're not sure about how to structure that. So once you've included all the family members that you want to, people then start thinking about, well, what are the other benefits? So I have the right to reside in Italy, which is great. If you want to relocate and live there permanently, you can ultimately qualify for permanent residency. So 5 years of residency in Italy will qualify you for PR. Another 5 years of physical residency in Italy will make you eligible for citizenship. In both those cases, you need language proficiency. So in the case of PR, you need to have a level A2 language certificate. If you want to apply for citizenship at the 10-year mark, you need a B1 language certificate, which means you have to really speak. So you've got to kind of practice these hand gestures as well, right? You can't speak Italian without using your hands. So those are the things you have to keep in mind if you're doing this ultimately for PR or for citizenship. If you're just wanting to use this as a safe haven, knowing you're welcome somewhere else in the world, then you can just continuously renew your temporary residency card. It's issued for 3 years and it can just renew every 3 years. There's no requirement for you to spend any time in Italy if you just want to continuously renew that temporary residency card. One of the things that attracts people to many of these European countries is the excellent healthcare that you get. Now, some of us come from countries where healthcare is exceptional and where it is also exceptionally expensive. In the case of Italy, you do not qualify for free national health care once you have a residency permit. As an investor, you are expected to contribute to the 2,000 euros per person to the national health care if you want to avail yourself of the national healthcare services. So relative to where many of us come from, that's not a big price to pay. You can, of course, also take out private health insurance and just use your private health insurance, which is also significantly cheaper in Europe than it is in countries, for instance, like Canada or the US. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about the healthcare side. So Italy offers us many benefits. It gives you visa-free access to the rest of the Schengen. It gives you the right to live in Italy. Maybe just back quickly to the language point, you don't have to speak Italian to qualify for the initial residency permit. So remember that. But ultimately, if you want more benefits or benefits that vest, you need to learn to speak the language. So it's a great opportunity to get a foot in the door in Italy. You can make a good investment. You can choose the investment level you want to get involved in. And ultimately, there is a route to citizenship if that is what you want. So please do follow the channel. I'll expand on a few of these topics in other videos. So have a look on the little menu if you'd like to see more information. Thanks.